Hello everyone and welcome. Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. We've got the XXX crypto, the big powerhouses of our portfolio up in the running today on the charts. So we're going to quick fire videos this morning before I go on my trip to London. So guys, let's take a look first of all at Stellar Lumen's XLM. So we covered this a few days ago, just reiterating with this wonderful blue circle that we drew in, that this is a very important area. It was something that we need to try and keep attacking, keep in this area to avoid a full-on drop down. Now, what's clear to see since we drew this area in for XLM is that we have continuous activity around this 34.5 cent mark. Now, it's quite interesting because, of course, yes, we have gone slightly above that and slightly below that at specific periods. But when we're looking at support levels, of course, on the fib retracement, it's very much around this area. So today and tomorrow really of interest to me in the sense that, one, to see how much volume goes in, and two, how much fight really is there to keep us floating around this area. And it really is floating, guys, because the sort of buy-in volumes are creeping down slightly for XLM. And the MACD here, you can see the slight narrowing of the gap, which is indicating that we're moving towards a bearish momentum. As you know, and this all really, like I said, depends on this movement here over the next couple of days. Because if we can support that, we might get a bit of confidence in there and start pushing ourselves back up to maybe around that 36 cent mark to try and attain some levels there. But the RSI is very much bang in the middle, so it's kind of like a limbo moment for XLM in my opinion. And you can see here, this kind of proves that on the right hand side here. Hopefully you can see the performance indicators. So on the week we're only 4% up, and on the month we're only 0.5% up, guys. So the 6 months don't have to worry about too much, because that does entail the big drop that we had sort of back down here across multiple markets. But the 3 month is looking more positive than these, certainly these more macro levels here. So it's kind of confirming really that we're very much in a sleeping mode, and I think it's a bit of a battle in the sense that there's obviously gigantic volumes of XLM, going in daily, of course, but I think that everyone has massive maybe wallets in the background, certainly the sort of big whales do, and of course people like myself who don't have gigantic bags compared to many other people, but certainly something that would do some nice damage if it ever went up and above kind of thing. So there is a lot in play here, and I think everyone understands the Stellar project and what it's doing in the world, and what it's backing technologically wise for institutions, for banks and everything like this. So this is where I see the battle. I think you're going to get a lot of people who are just phasing out because they're bored, or they perhaps don't understand the project, or they're just trying to chase money elsewhere. For me, I'm holding. I know what Stellar is capable of. I know what it's involved with. And I'm thinking, like, this is, to me, just in this whole area here, even, I know obviously down here would have been better, but when you get this stability line, and I appreciate we're going in a slightly downward trend, if you can see that visually, that's why I've got this potential buy opportunity still down here around 32 again, which we did hit yesterday. If you remember, we drew this in here as an opportunity. I think we went slightly lower than 32, 32.46 was the lowest. So we got that one, and I did have the lower spectrum just over 30 cents just in case. So I do think that we could still come into this area before we get a support mechanism, and it could arguably be that perhaps this sort of level here, and I'm just going to draw this in so you can see what I'm talking about. Here we go. So just literally kind of around here really. This 31.78 mark is quite of interest, but also maybe nearer enough to the 30 cent mark is kind of like around this particular area. You see a few touch points in the past back then, and also of course these areas here of closure. So yeah, very much around that 30 cent mark. It's almost like we haven't fully confirmed the 30 cent mark yet, but we'll see what kind of retaliation we have, how many of the whales are sat here at 30 cents trying to push this up, if that makes sense. So looking forward to seeing how that plays out. But yeah, I do anticipate that we might drop slightly down here to test the water in the 30 cent mark before a push up again. However, irrespective of this sort of 2 to 4 cent mark, so obviously we're currently floating just under 34 cents right now as a recording, this is, in my opinion, an opportunity to just bag Stellar Lumens for a ridiculous price compared to what it will be in the future. I truly stand by that. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if we start coming down to test below the 30 cent mark again, because we have had a lot of data points on those areas already, and I think just from the mentality, I think 30 cents is quite a specific number, of course, and it continues that kind of like upward trend, if you like. So what I mean by that is, we've obviously had the 25 cent marks down here, we've had the 26, but actually, maybe looking at something in the grand scheme of things, of moving towards that kind of trend aspect to something around this 30 cents makes kind of sense, really. I just said that twice, but yeah, I think it is possible for sure to potentially come back down to this kind of area, and see if we can get full confirmation of 30 cent support. But ideally, what we want to see is a close around this area again, and then it just might be enough to push us upwards. So let's see how it goes with Stellar. Let us know what you think in the comments below. What you're thinking about Stellar. Have you sold? Have you bought? What's your position with Stellar Lumens? Are you still confident? I know I am. I know what it's about. That's all I care about, whether it's in a few years' time or whatever. Hopefully we get some short-term gains, but I just know around the corner, certainly next year, big launches worldwide of CBDCs, and I know that Stellar will be powering a lot of that, as well as other aspects as well, of course. So let us know in the comments below what you are thinking right now of Stellar Lumens. Let's ramp this up to XRP Ripple. Bit of a downward fluctuation over the last few days. Obviously, lack of confidence yesterday in both bullish and bearish momentum. So we had a very small candle close here, and then since today we've had this drop down, and look at that, bang on our orange line that we drew a few videos back. So kind of confirming like the sort of data entry points that we had from historic data here, lining up. And I'm quite impressed how is that really bang on? Look how close that was, guys. Look, what's that? That's like I don't even know what that is, like 0.2 of a cent out. So yeah, it's pretty much bang on. We're pretty happy with that. But yeah, we drew this area in here of I just moved this box up to this area from down here, just as a maybe actually some area of opportunity to come down to over the next few days. That's not saying Ripple is dead or anything like this. Of course, we still got the SEC lawsuit going on, which is absolute nonsense suppression in my opinion. But we know what Ripple's capable of. We know what it's doing worldwide, of course. But look at this trend upwards. So we've had good movement already. And we've got like nice little stepping stones. So this is kind of healthy really, because look at that day there. Let's just take a look at how much that was in terms of percentage gain. So it's kind of understandable really that profits have been taken, because that's a good like miniature 15%. That's not too bad for one day's closure movement really. And obviously it closed back down to here, so 10%. So you're just getting a bit more of a phase out in terms of selling. You see that on the histogram here. The volume has slightly decreased, but the income is still coming in, and the MACD is slightly narrowing today, but that's understandable. Look at the last 3 days. So I'm not majorly worried. I do anticipate us to potentially come down and test this area properly before we do start tailing up and getting that round about that 112 mark as a confirmed support line, which kind of indicates as well, because look, if you look historically, especially around this area, it is certainly an area of interest. And what we'll do, just as a reference point, we will draw that in as well. So just keep an eye on that. So if we can keep within these two kind of orange lines, that would be absolutely fantastic for Ripple as we move towards the end of October and into November, because by the end of October I do anticipate us to be up here somewhere, and pushing these boundaries of 130 hopefully in the sort of first or second week of November. But look how far away we are still really from the all-time high up here near $2. Of course, that is going to be a gigantic resistance area once we do get up there. But look at this, like it's not all doom and gloom, guys. Look at that. We are slowly moving up this track. Now, you could have an argument that okay, it's going to take a bit longer, but who's to say that by in November sometime we couldn't get up that way if we did continue that kind of momentum. We are looking arguably at around about that sort of mid to end November time for us to get there. So let's keep an eye on it, guys. I mean, let's just, for argument's sake, we carry on this trend. Yeah, it could literally be that third week of November that we start hitting that all-time high, right into the December months, where I think a lot of people are saying Bitcoin's going to hit some big numbers potentially. So it kind of plays out, hopefully, in that we're in the lowest spectrum of the trend right now. But I do anticipate that to pick up once we get confirmation of this area. And performance-wise, to be fair, Ripple, again, similar to XLM, it's down on the month, which is a bit disappointing. But what do you expect, guys? It's still in the lawsuit. People are still umming and ahhing about it. I'm just accumulating whenever I see a drop of XRP. I think this price is extremely cheap compared to when it's going to be, and maybe not necessarily the end of this year, but certainly the years to come. So I'm not worried. 2% up on the week, so it's a bit better than XLM's performance. But 3 months we're doing good. 6 months, as we've said in the XLM video, that does consider some movement downwards previously as well. But that 403% up on the year is absolutely phenomenal if you think about its circumstance this year. So credit to the people who are backing this, and there's no doubt in my mind that Ripple is going to be a giant in the near future. So let us know what you think of XRP in the comments below. Are you holding? Have you been selling? Are you patient, or are you losing patience? Let us know, and we'll stick some comments out in the next chart. Guys, XDC, one of my favorites. So we've had a nice wave pattern here. We've come down to the buy area that we put in previously. We're still leaving this one in here because I do possibly think that this 10-cent mark is an opportunity to accumulate a bit more. It is on the lower end of the spectrum in my opinion, but we may close around this 1141 mark as we've got on the micro fib retracement line here. These are obviously not fully accurate, but a relatively good indicator of where we are in terms of potential support lines. You see in the past we have touched these kind of areas before, so it's really about the close today and tomorrow for me with XDC to see, are we going to gain traction here at 1170ish and push up, or are we just going to continue this and test this 1135? And if we do, I do anticipate us over a period of time, maybe during this week, of coming down to this 10-cent mark. We've got to remember that Bitcoin has had a phenomenal rise as well, and there will be profits taken across the board. So that kind of confidence element does ring bells into the bearish momentum, and it's not a bad thing, guys. Look, we're bang on that trend line, temporary trend line that we drew before. So again, next day or two is very critical. If I just continue to draw that out a bit, it's very much about this little triangular area here, in my opinion. So let's see how that goes. But we got to also anticipate that we've had a fantastic run. I mean, look at this from this point up here where we took the profit. So we've taken from the 21st September at 9 cents, we've gone all the way up to 15. So that's a 50% increase in gains, which is absolutely phenomenal. And then we've had the tail down. Let me just get rid of this one so we don't confuse ourselves with loads of blue arrows. We've come back down from that point to around here, 20%. So in my opinion, like 30% is quite achievable when you have corrections, and that kind of continues a very nice gradual trend line along this way. So it is possible, and I'm going to leave my buy opportunity there. That's my last one that I've ever had. So I have a small bag left of USDT from the sell up here that I had in 19 cents, and look how patient you have to be. That was towards the end of August, guys. And it's taken this long for us to really test down to these areas again. That's why you always look at not just charts on the macro level, but look at the historic data. I literally sold just before that 19-cent mark, I think it was. What was it? If I can find it on here. Yeah, so I did it just around 1912 or something. So just before the top end. And look how long it's taken. I mean, that's incredible, really. So it just shows you how patient you need to be. And that was actually the bottom part here at 9 cents. And we've had a nice gradual intake, actually, from that point. So it's going in the right direction, guys. Even irrespective of this disappointing move in the last few weeks, it is going in the right direction. And XDC is another powerhouse not to be missed, in my opinion. Go and check out our intro videos and do your own research, of course. But I think it's absolutely phenomenal. We are on a bit of a bearish momentum still, of course. The sellout volume is going in continuously. And that, to me, is just, hey, Simon, go and buy some more. And I will. So the RSI is dropping to its lowest points. If that gets to around maybe 38, that's where I sort of maybe see it around that sort of 10 cent mark. And then I think we'll start pushing this back up, because I do think we'll have some nice resistance at 10 cents in my opinion. But let's see how it goes. Don't have any performance indicators on this one for some reason, but I'll give you the performance method in my mind. Is that we've had some fantastic moves from XDC. It's understandable that we had corrections over a long period of time. We've had a bit of a shakeout situation, but more importantly, it's about confidence in the project. A lot of people probably jumped in here and probably around these areas here as well, and then thought, oh, it's not doing anything, when actually they should just be looking at the project and going, right, this is actually amazing, and I'm just buying things cheap left, right and center here for XDC, because this thing's going to absolutely fly. I think it's going to have a great end to this year, and I think certainly in 5 years time you'll look back at these 10 cent prices and you'll be laughing. Guys, I'm going to wrap that there. Let us know if you're holding XDC in your portfolio. That wraps up triple X crypto, guys. Sorry we couldn't do individual videos today, I'm running out of time, but I wanted to just get a few bits of technical analysis out for you guys on these 3 outstanding projects. Thank you so much for watching. We're smashing through subscribers. We've hit the 2,000. Thank you so much for your support. Let's get to 3. Bye guys, have a great day.